In this video, I'm going to be showing you 3 reasons that reality transurfing will change your life. I'm going to share with you why it's changed my life and the powerful way you can apply it so that you get a similar result. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, we're going to be going more in detail to the reasons reality transurfing can be even more powerful than what we call the law of attraction. Now, I still think the law of attraction is cool. I have hundreds of videos on my channel about it, and I'm not saying in any way that the law of attraction doesn't work. However, what I am saying is that there are certain paradigms, certain ways we can go about understanding the process or just simply the way reality works, and that when we start to apply these, it starts to change everything. Because literally, the world that we experience on the outside is a reflection of our internal beliefs and our internal focus. So when we change the way we view ourselves, when we change the beliefs we have, everything on the outside can begin to change in a very powerful way. Now, here's the thing with reality transurfing, and I'll give a little bit of a basis of here in a minute, but with reality transurfing, when we are able to apply some of the principles, we're able to see that as we make the process easier, it becomes easier. As we redefine the whole process of manifestation, it changes everything. It really does. And that's the main thing that I've come to understand is how powerful simplicity is. You know, there's ways, and the intellectual ideas can still be powerful. We can go in detail to it. That's what I've done in a lot of my videos. But guess what? When we break it down really simple and we start to just believe that it can be that easy, it can be that easy. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy. So that's why I think reality transurfing can just be so much more powerful than that of the original processes we might be using. And just to give it a little bit of a basis, like I do in a lot of the reality transurfing videos, so it has to do with understanding that reality transurfing, first off, it's a book that was written in Russia by a quantum physicist named Vadim Zeland. Now, he wrote this book. It has to do with understanding that there are an infinite number of parallel realities that exist, and that what we want to experience exists right now in the present moment. Now, our intention is the direction to which parallel realities we choose. Now, this has to do with understanding the choices that we make in daily life, and that as we set those intentions, we're going in a certain direction. Now, most people, they are kind of ran by that of social conditioning. Meaning we learn things growing up, we have certain beliefs, and we just kind of let that take us in a certain direction. But until we start to give ourselves our own intention, we start to really decide what we want, that's when we start going on our own path. That's when it can be very powerful. But when we just keep on kind of being like a leaf in the wind almost, it's like we're just kind of going with whatever's given to us, we're kind of absorbing our environment in a way, guess what? We continue to get the same results over and over again. So, with that of reality transurfing, the reason it can be so powerful is because when we learn to really come from our heart, that's another part of reality transurfing, we must find goals that connect to our heart, because the heart is thousands of times more powerful than that of the head. And when we start to apply it, we start to see that there's a feeling that comes along with it. If you start to follow that feeling, amazing things will happen. That's what I did. I simply started to make videos, and I started to feel something when I made the videos. I got into like a flow state. So I was like, yo, I'm going to do this a lot more often. And that's what I did, is I said, you know what, I'm going to go daily because I enjoy it so much. And even though it's going to be hard going daily, because at the time I had a full-time job, I still did it. But guess what? That passion, that feeling grew more and more, and then the side effect of that was an explosion of growth. You know, we went from like 3,000 subs to like 100,000 in like 3 or maybe 4 months, I forget, but it happened very fast because I was aligned to my heart and I was aligned to my goals. So the powerful part of understanding also parallel realities is that what you want to experience exists at a certain frequency. You're just not perceiving it because of the current choices, beliefs, and self-image that you currently have. This is what quantum physics shows us, as far as that every possible parallel reality exists right now. And when we start to tap into this, we can see it can be so much easier than we make it, because we don't have to create something out of nothing. We just have to choose and have our energy in the right direction. We just have to choose the right choices and to go about it from that point of view. I mean, think of even the words reality transurfing. Literally what it means is, it's going to sound kind of complicated, it means to glide through the space of variations. Now I know it's like, what is the definition of that? Well, space of variations is kind of like the infinite number of parallel realities. And gliding is kind of like surfing, right? Transurfing. So think of it like surfing. You don't have to control everything, right? It's the idea that it's like this wave is coming and you're just riding the wave. It's easy. It's something that once you learn to do, it's like you become very efficient at it and you just let it carry you. You don't have to try so hard. You don't have to do all of these things. So it's this level of awareness. Now, in general, as our state of being increases, so does the good that comes into our life. That's when we can start to find ourselves becoming more lucky. That's when amazing things begin to happen. And the other part of understanding reality transurfing has to do with this thing of, so first off, with that social conditioning though that I was mentioning, that's where I was going with that. Pendulums, thought structures, the thought structures of society. Even though we don't physically see our thoughts, although we do see the materialization of our thoughts because that's everything we experience, even though we don't physically see our thoughts, they do have an electromagnetic type reality. This is what they've showed with like the Dr. Masaru Emoto, where they put energy over water and they change the molecules. It's been shown that there is an effect with our thoughts to what we experience. So what we can begin to do is to realize there's a mass consensus reality. So it's like we're individually creating our own layer of the world, but all of us collectively have certain collective belief systems that run themselves out. So many times we think we're having our own thoughts, and in reality, we're having the thoughts of what's called a pendulum. A pendulum is a thought structure. We may not be able to physically see it, but there's thoughts. One of the most well-known pendulums you can think of is whether you're Republican or Democrat. If you're even a part of the system at all, you may think that this is who I am, and a lot of times when you watch the news or something, it's sucking you into that energy flow. Pendulums feed on energy. So what happens is these pendulums are draining our energy all the time because we're getting triggered with the media. We're getting triggered with all these things. And because we're getting triggered, it's draining us. It's draining us. And then we don't have the energy to actually create what we want because we're being distracted by everything else. So the key to this is to take our power back by being aware of the pendulums. Even if you go to a sports game, you may say, I like to go to a sports game because you can kind of feel the energy there. It's funner to go to a sports game than it is to watch it on TV. Now they're both pendulums, but one of them you're actually physically there and you could feel the rush, the kind of the high of the pendulum. And then once the game is over, it goes away. And now, not all pendulums are bad, but in general, pendulums will run people's life without them knowing. The power is in when you take your power back and you start to say, yo, I'm going to create my own layer. I'm going to create my own life. And you start to kind of realize, I'm going to observe my thoughts. When you observe the pendulum but you don't react to it, that's when you have the power. If you fight a pendulum, you'll always kind of lose because if you fight it, you're still affirming it, right? You're still resisting it, and the resistance keeps it alive. So taking the power back, being aware of it, observing it. And then the last part I'll talk about with reality transurfing is what is called the balance of coordination. It's the energy from which everything comes. If we put something and make it very important, we immediately distance ourselves from it and it becomes much less attainable. So when we start to instead see it as natural for us to achieve our goals, it becomes very powerful. Now, decrease in importance is one of the most powerful concepts from reality transurfing that has changed my life. It is one of the ones I think can also change your life. If you apply it, it's the one that most people have come to me saying, this has been the biggest game changer in all of my manifestation results. Now, decrease in importance is not that hard to do. It simply has to do with a couple key principles of awareness of who you are and how you relate to the environment. If you want a free guided meditation that will help you to decrease the level of importance you're giving to your goals, I've created one. It's absolutely free. You can download it in the top of the description box below, and it will help you to decrease the level of importance to then increase the probability that you experience what you want. So, the 3 reasons that reality transurfing will change your life. The first one is actually something to do with that social conditioning I was talking about. Now, this isn't the most sexy thing. Social conditioning. If I put it in keywords on Google, it's not going to get the most views. It's not going to be the most intriguing by people. But if you deplug yourself from social conditioning, it will probably be one of the biggest game changers you make in your whole life. Now, what this means is you become aware of the pendulums, the thought structures, what you're paying attention to, because that is controlling the narrative of your life. Now, think about it. We grow up, think about this subconsciously. We grow up under and watching marketing online that is all geared under this premise that you are not enough, that you must buy the next product, you must be better than your neighbor, you must be always trying to get to some external place, and you must always compare yourself to other people. That is a pendulum that has always been given to us since we were young, and we are always trying to buy the next, women are trying to buy the next cosmetic product to make them look a certain way. Guys are trying to get the next best car so that they can impress their friends. Everyone is trying to do things to upgrade their status of the way they see themselves, as if they're not good enough already. You see, this is a tricky thing, but it's so in the background that most people aren't even aware of it. So the key to this is to become aware of what that narrative is and to realize that you can start to take your power back by observing what these could possibly be. Do you feel sometimes pulled to reassert who you are in front of people? Maybe someone's talking about something they just achieved and you feel like, I gotta get in there and I gotta say something I done, Or maybe you just become aware that, oh, maybe I'm part of this political affiliation, and now I'm becoming aware. It's not like I'm telling you to just ditch it, but I am saying be aware of it. If you're aware of it, it's not as big of a deal. It's okay, yo. But if you aren't aware of it, you don't know what you don't know, and that will run your life for show. So, dang. And that's what you have to become aware of, is just simply when you start to take your power, you start to observe your thoughts. First off, observe your thoughts. Observe why you do what you do. Observe the collective beliefs that you may be a part of. What triggers you? What triggers you? Is it, when some people talk about gun violence? Because if so, whether you're on one side or the other, if it triggers you, that pendulum is carrying you. That is draining your energy of things that could actually be beneficial to you. So, social conditioning. If you start to, and it's really more so about just being authentic to you. A lot of the thoughts and a lot of the social conditionings you might align with aren't really you. They're thoughts that have been here for a long time. They're the thoughts of the mass consensus reality. You may think they're important because the media says, yo, this is so important. You look at all this negativity in the world. This is the way the world is. Even though it's a skewed sample of something that's projected to you to distract you from who you really are. That's why it's about waking up. Wake up to who you are. Wake up to the true power that you have, which is to create your own reality from your choices, from what you focus on. The more you focus on that media, the more you focus on those perspectives that don't serve you, guess what? The more you end up experiencing that in your life. So take your power back. That's what I want to encourage you to do. And I'll be doing more videos on this in the future. It's not the most sexy thing, talk about pendulums and social conditioning. A lot of people don't like it because it sounds negative, the social conditioning, but the truth is when you take your power back, you start becoming authentic to you. We think that this is the goals I have. I have this goal of living in this type of house and doing this. Is that really what you want? Or is that what you've been led to believe you want? Maybe it is. I have goals of being very, very successful, and I'm on that path right now, and I'm making choices with it, and I'm taking action, and I love what I do. But I'm also aware, is this my narrative, or is this the social narrative? Because I can go straight to the feeling if I want. I just have to focus on that level of awareness. Now, the second reason that reality transurfing can completely change your life is it can make the process so much easier than you currently think it has to be. So what does this mean? This means that we have these beliefs that everything is complicated. A lot of times with the law of attraction, it's like we are intending to do things. We have these beliefs that it's like, oh, this manifestation, am I going to win the lottery? I hear that all the time on the channel. Am I going to win the lottery? Am I going to attract this into my life? Nothing wrong with it, but ask yourself that question. Where is this energy coming from? We'll talk about that more in a minute as well. But the key is making this easy. What are your beliefs about the process? See, reality transurfing, gliding through the alternative space. This is where the game changer was for me. Start to allow more into your life. This is where I'm going to talk about what is called a reality amalgam. I've talked about this before. Back in the Venetian times, what they would do is they would put gold tint into the mirrors so that when you looked at the mirrors, you looked more attractive. You had this glow hue. And that, in a way, is a reality amalgam. It's an overlay of that mirror that makes you look just a little bit better. Now, a reality amalgam is a belief about life in general. This isn't like a belief that like money's going to bring me this and that. This is a very general belief. The world always takes care of me. I'm always in the right place at the right time, yo. When we say things like that, and we start to, that's so general that we can connect to it, right? Because it's not specific at all. If we're like, oh, I'm going to attract $1 million into my life, it's like there could be a lot of resistance with that, because maybe you're making currently like $50,000 a year. I mean, that's such a big jump. Not saying it can't happen, but if you go more general, like amazing things are happening for me right now, amazing opportunities are coming in my life, guess what? That can be very easy to connect to, because the amazing things is perceptual. Depends on your perspective. But start to set these reality amalgams. Start to set this belief that every day gets better and better. That things get easier for you. That it is easy for you to focus in the direction of what you want and to see evidence of things coming into your life. If you make it easy, it will be easy. The more intellectual you make it, the more chopped up it gets. I found that from experience. And even though a lot of the YouTube channel back in the day was on some of these, like, the beliefs and all that, and those are still powerful. I still get people that email me every day saying that, those videos have changed their lives. However, there's a paradigm that's higher than that. And that higher level paradigm is, how does it feel to you? Break it down to the feeling. You are already enough. And as you start to feel into that, realize this can be easy. This is natural. People ask me all the time, what have you manifested in your life? Everything is a reflection of a manifestation. Does that mean, that means more so, what are you aware of in your life that you have created? What have you consciously decided? And it's like, well, let's see, the YouTube channel grew. I had an intention for that. Moving into a new place, had the intention of that. Having better relationship with like my family members and stuff, and like connecting at a deeper level, because I've been so focused on business things that it's like sometimes I find myself disassociated from it because I'm so focused. Done that. Done. It really can be that easy. But everything is a manifestation of what you believe to be true. Everything's a manifestation of your focus. So pay attention to what that is. And as you pay attention to what that is, you start to more so connect to it. You start to more so realize it. All right, the third reason reality transurfing can change your life is because you will become more aware of where your energy is and how to increase your own state of being. Now, this is the thing with the law of attraction in general. This is where we are. This is where we want to be. So we do all this in the middle. But the thing is, this over here, this is where we are, this over here, anything that we want is because we believe we will feel better in the having of it. It's because we believe there's this certain emotion that comes from that thing. So think about it. You want more money? What do you want? You want freedom. You want security. And because of that, that's an emotion. If you want a relationship, what do you want? You want connection. You want compassion. That's an emotion. Anything that we want is because we believe we will feel the better in the having of it. That's like an Abraham Hicks type quote, but it's so true. So what we can begin to do is realize, where is our energy coming from? Where is our questions coming from? Is it coming from lack? Because here's the thing, people ask me all the time on the channel. You say, yo, Aaron, how do I attract a specific person in my life? I get that question almost every day in my DMs. They go into the DMs like, yo, Aaron, I want this specific person in my life. I'm not bagging on you, but this is the thing. Where is that energy coming from? It's coming from a place of lack. It's coming from a place that I'm not already enough, therefore I need to attract a specific person. If you're trying to attract, I get all the time as well, how can I attract my ex? Let go of the outcome. Focus on you. Where is that energy coming from? You start to become more aware of where your energy is coming from and how you can just exist in the emotions that you want to feel right now. Think about how ridiculous this is. And I'm not bagging on the whole specific person thing. I'm bagging about this in general. We give ourselves permission to feel the emotions we want once we get to some external time in the future. So I say, for example, when I hit 1 million subscribers, I will feel this ecstatic feeling. It's going to be amazing. So what I do is I get closer and closer to it. Eventually I hit 1 million subscribers. Then my body, it's manufactured by my mind, and I say, now you can flush serotonin and dopamine because you've hit your goal. And then I'm feeling these emotions. I'm like, whoa, this is really cool. I feel this because I accomplished this. When in reality, I gave myself a rule in my head that said when you hit 1 million subscribers, you can feel this type of emotion and you can start to feel the serotonin and dopamine. Now, of course, consciously, I'm not like, oh, it's serotonin and dopamine. However, when it comes to the emotion, that's what happens. We give ourselves permission to feel it. How about this instead, though? This is a game changer. This will change your whole life if you apply it. You are here. Your goals are here. Instead, feel what your goals would make you feel. What emotions is it? Feel it now in the present moment. If it's freedom, you want money, freedom and opportunity, you have those in your life right now at some level. Focus on those. Focus on what you're already grateful for. Focus on the things that are already coming into your life and you will get more of it. Whatever you focus on grows. You want connection to a specific person or a person in general? Focus on the relationships you already have. Focus on family. It doesn't have to be romantic. You can just focus on what you already have, and as you focus on connection, you will get more connection. As you focus on the connection with yourself, you will perceive more of that in your life. So this is a game changer, but feel the emotions now, and then paradoxically enough, everything that you want to experience happens quicker because you resonate with it. Just like the process talks about parallel realities, they already exist. It's a matter of tuning into it. You tune into it with your emotion, with your state of being. Give yourself the permission to feel that state of being now, and everything will begin to change in a very powerful way. So remember, as you start to decondition yourself from society's beliefs, from trying to be good enough, and that also intertwines into the other ones of where's the energy coming from? Am I already whole and complete? Start to focus on that. Make it an easy process. This is so much easier. It's a natural byproduct of who you are. It's not this, what have you manifested? Look around. Look around. That's all you got to do. It's in front of your eyes. It's a reflection of what you've been thinking. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you guys liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the little notification gear next to the subscribe button, because the way YouTube does things is you have to hit that in order to see my daily vids. And on that, I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace, much love, and namaste.